Hello, this is Rob with Flamethrowerplans.com. I want to welcome you to my garage and welcome you to this special video series, How to Make a Flamethrower. In these videos today, I'm going to show you exactly from step A to Z how I build my flamethrower so you can build yours while you're at home, following along as I build mine here. Now before we get started, it's important to make sure you've already purchased all the parts and all the tools that we're going to be using today to build our flamethrower. If you haven't done so already, go to the beginning section of your ebook where you'll find my parts and tools buying list with clickable links to take you online to buy all your parts you'll need today. Remember, take your time, safety first, and let's get started. The first step to building your flamethrower is to remove the large fill valve off the top of the 20-pound CO2 tank. We're going to do this by using your 1 1/4 inch wrench and the backpack to hold the tank in place while we remove the valve. First, we need to assemble the tightening strap for the backpack. What you want to do is take the strap in your left hand and the buckle in your right hand. You want to feed the strap through the buckle here. You've got 3 slots here. Feed it through the middle slot and pull that through right out to here. Then you want to fold this over through the top or this bottom slot here. Pull that through, then feed it over through this top slot here. When you tighten it, you'll pull it over and it'll fasten to the Velcro here. So now we want to put it on the tank to hold it in place. Now we're going to slide the backpack strap over the large tank and tighten it on the tank so we can hold it in place. You want to set the backpack handle about even with the threads in the large fill valve. With the strap, the buckle open, tighten, and then feed this strap through here and pull it tight. Rotate the handle so you can fit the wrench here below the threads. If you grab the wrench in your left hand, grab the handle with your right hand, you should be able to just about loosen this fitting here. It can be snug, so you may have to pull really hard. Once you do, go ahead and remove the top fill valve from the tank.
Now that we have the large tank valve removed from the tank, we're going to prep all the male fittings with Teflon tape. You should have your large tank fill valve, your 4.5 and 3 inch brass pipes, the 1/4 inch by 1/8 inch reducer, and your quick disconnect fittings.
Take your Teflon tape, and what you want to do is thread the Teflon tape around the threads so when you're looking on down from the top down view of the threads, the tape is threaded in a clockwise direction. For this large fitting here, I usually go around 3 to 5 times. You just break it with your hand. Tighten it. And do this for all the threads. Smaller threads, you only need to cover about twice. There we go. Now we're going to assemble the large tank fill valve. You need your CO2 tank, which you can set aside for now, and it should be filled with CO2. Go ahead and set that aside. We're going to have your large tank valve, the 320 CGA to 1/8 inch NPT thread adapter, your 4-inch brass pipe, paintball universal fill adapter, the 11/16 inch deep socket, and your 3/8 inch socket wrench. Begin by taking the 4-inch pipe and the brass piece to your 320 CGA adapter. I'm going to go ahead and thread this on. Finger tight is fine. Take your fitting here and go ahead and slip this through just like that. Then take the paintball universal fill valve and thread that on Now, you want to take your socket. You can go ahead and hold the fill valve in your hand. We're going to tighten this very snugly. Then, take your washer and place it behind it's fitting there.
So take your large tank fill valve assembly and you want to thread it onto the fill valve. You want to hand tighten this as much as possible.
Once it's snug, I'm going to loosen it just a little bit so you can rotate this freely without loosening it. I just set it just like this.
Now you need your large tank fill valve assembly and your 1 1/8 inch wrench.
You also need your large tank. What you're going to do is thread this onto the tank. This will allow us to hold it in place as we tighten that 320 CGA air fitting. Put in position like this, make sure it's tight. Take your 1 1/8 inch wrench. What you want to do is you want to hold this in place and tighten it until you can't hold it anymore without spinning this. Go ahead and get your wrench here and tighten this. As much as you can. Once it's snug, you can tighten this. So it's facing perfectly vertically. Now we can remove this from our tank. The next step now is to make sure that we don't have any leaks on either of the fittings here. Make sure this valve is totally closed and that this valve is completely open. Take your CO2 tank. You want to thread this onto this fitting until it's tight. You want to take this and tighten it, and you should hear it pressurize once it engages the nipple on the tank. Once it's on here, you can listen for any air leaks here or here, or use a little bit of soap and water to check for any bubbles. I don't hear any leaks, so we're good. Loosen this valve until it stops. Open this to release any pressure.